Zevahim Daf Kofiot Bet, continuing from Kofiot Aleph Hamud Bet, first wide line. Rabbi Shimon mentioned our Mishnah that whatever you're chayav for the outside, if it's the outside, you also chayav for the inside. The Gemara says, Ahechakai, which part is Rabbi Shimon referring to? Meaning, Ilim Areshakai, if you're talking about the first part of the Mishnah, which is Hamalek of Bifnim Vehela Bachut Chayav, someone that Milika on a bird inside Bet HaMikdash. Then you offered it outside your chayav. Malak b'achutz v'la b'achutz. But then if you did milika outside and offered outside patur, v'amar Rabbi Shimon, and therefore you're saying Rabbi Shimon is now responding ki just like he did it outside, inside the chayav, so to use chayav outside. Hi kosher hayavina la b'achutz. That doesn't make sense. Then the Mishnah should have said any korban which you're chayav for outside. Kol chayavin shla b'fnimi barnle. Rabbi Shimon should have said any korban you're chayav for inside. Bechayav outside. So that can't be what Rabbi Shimon's arguing about. Okay. Ella, maybe you'll say, just like someone who does milika on a bird outside does not become chayav outside. So too, if you do milika inside and you offer it outside, you're not chayav. High kosher in chayav in the then Rabbi Shimon should not be saying you are chayav any korban that you're not chayav for outside. Okay, so Allah Sifaka, maybe it's in the second part of the Mishnah. Hashtahet of Bifnim Vela Bahut Patur. Someone is Shahitan, a bird inside, and you offer it outside, you Patur. Shahab Bahut Vela Bahut Hayav. If you did Shahita outside and offer it outside, you Hayav. Amar Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Shimon would be saying what? Bifnim Lama Hayav Bahut Namil Hayav. Just like if you're outside, inside your Patur, you're also Hayav, you're also Patur outside. Hay Kosh in Hayav Vela, but Rabbi Shimon was about Chiyuv, not Patur. Shimon was a case of Patur, where it says, Ella must be just like if you do shechita outside your chayav inside. If you were outside. But then the Mishnah says also, if someone does shechita inside or if it's outside your patur. So you can't be a chayav. Gemara says, okay, the difference between the cases is if you slaughter an animal at nighttime. The saying as follows. If someone slaughtered an animal at night, inside at nighttime, and you offered it outside your patur, if you slaughtered it outside at night and you offered it outside your chayav. Rabbi Shimon answers, anything you're chayav outside. You're also chayav in the parallel case of doing it inside and bringing it up outside. Except if you did shechita on a bird inside and you offered it outside. About this explanation, the difference is talking about a case where you offered it, you received the blood in a non-kadosh kli sharet, in a non-kli sharet, in a regular vessel. That's the difference. Why? It goes as follows. If someone receiving blood in a non-kadosh vessel inside the bin and offered outside, you're patur. If you received it outside and did it outside, you're chayav. Rabbi Shimon says, anything you're chayav for outside, but also chayav if you did it inside, then you brought it out. How it's except because he slaughtered it out inside and offered it outside. Last answer, now that the father of Shmuel Bar Yitzchak taught the following brayta, someone offered did milika inside and then brought the bird outside for korban, you're chayav. If you did both outside, you're patur. Rabbi Shimon chayav. Therefore, Rabbi Shimon hatam kai must be Rabbi Shimon saying as follows. In that type of case, that what? The Tanya explain our Mishnah. Any korban that you're chayav for inside and you offer it up outside, you're chayav also when you do it outside as well and you're offering it outside. Okay, new Mishnah. Hatat shekibel damha bekos echad. If you have a korban hatat, the blood received in one cup, then he did some blood outside and did some inside, vice versa, chayav you're chayav for the blood that you're doing outside. Because all the blood in that single cup is eligible for the mizbeach. So if you did the wrong spot, you're chayav. Kibel damha b'shtei kosher. Did two cups. You did both in the inside your patur, which is obvious. You did both in the outside your chayav, obvious. You did one inside, one outside your patur because you would say with the one inside. You did outside first, then the inside. You're chayav in the outside, but inside one it works. What's it comparable to? The mafresh you have a case for you. You made you appointed a korban hatat animal and you lost and you found a new one. You made a new one. Then you found the first one, then you have both of them. Shahat stehen befnim patur, wie soll both them inside your patur, stehen bachus, hayav you both outside your chayav, ahab befnim chachas patur, if one inside, one outside your patur, ahab bachus, ahab befnim one outside and inside, hayav ahizonah shibrin b'chalad, you do a chayav for the outside, one on the inside your patur. Kashem mishdema potato, just like the blood makes of the first hatat makes the meat patur from chayav me'ila, yani it's not distinct from the mitash. Kach he potated besar chaverta, so it also makes the meat of it of the other animal patur as well. Gemara. Bishlam bahuz vazaran b'fim makes sense according to the case where you do the blood outside first, then you do it inside. Shekur the b'fim because that single cup all the blood is right for outside, inside. If you did the outside first, inside first, then you did the outside, that's considered remainder. Why should be chayav? The Gemara says, according to Rabbi Hanina, it's according to Rabbi Hanina that Amar Shira Adam Riban Rahut Chayav, because he holds if you do if you offer the remaining is a chayav. I'm safe. 1 second. Not going to be according to Mechaniah. The next part of Mishnah says, "Kibel the Mabishne goes two cups of blood. The time shneim between patur, both inside patur. Shneim achos chayav, both outside chayav. Necham between v'chav achos patur. If you did it inside and outside, you're patur. B'har mechayav shneim adam nehrigon achos chayav. How would you say that case is patur? B'necham say chayav. The second part of Mishnah is according to Tanakama, who argues against Rabbi Shimon. The Amar post is osed the because he says if you apply from one cup, it makes the other cup rejected and unable to be placed, and therefore you're patur. Who argues against him? Rabbi Nechemiah, who says that if you apply the blood outside, you are chayav. Okay, we said this case. We gave the example of Mishnah. The case of the two hataot. The Gemara says, no, why do you need to bring this mashal? You know, this whole beautiful case. Why do you need that? Gemara says, Haman is according to the B, he's according to the B. He says that in case of a hatat that got lost while after you designated it, you're supposed to leave it to die if you replace it. Therefore, Mishnah is saying as follows. Tamada, that the reason why you're not chayav for slaughtering the second animal outside is because the first one was lost, meaning because it became pasul. Let's say you initially started with two hataot to begin with, meaning you already made a backup immediately. One of them is supposed to be olah from the beginning, and therefore it's supposed to be left to die. And also, the following thing as well says the Asham that was meant to die, yani left to graze, then you slaughtered it with no intention, it's an olah. How can you compare cases between Ravuna's case and the other case? Where it says, and especially because in Ravuna's case, Hatam Asham Tazachar Vel Tazachar. Case of Ravuna, you have an Asham which is male and Allah is male. But you can't compare that to the case of Hatar is female. Right? And therefore an Akhtar can never become an Allah. Where it says, yes, Amar Bechiyad mi Ustinya Besair Nasi, from the case of the Nasi goats by the inauguration, which was a hatat, but they used male animals. Okay, new Mishnah, new Perek. This is one of the biggest Mishnah I've ever seen in Shas. You'll see why. A cow hatat that you burnt outside the pit, which is referring to the paraduma burnt in a certain pit outside Yerushalayim. That's why you burnt it not in the right spot. Let's say you brought the goat that's supposed to be thrown off the cliff by Yom Kippur, and so you offer it as a korban outside Beit Hamikdash. Patur. Shneimar says, since these animals are not supposed to be brought to the Ohel Moed, supposed to bring them elsewhere, you're not chayav if you do the wrong thing with the korban. Okay. Harava, the animal that's sodomized, person who animal that was sodomized. If it doesn't need it, Avdazara Korban, Vaneva was worshipped already. Bamachir was used to buy a dog. Baitanana was used to payment for a zona. Bakilaim, a hybrid animal. Bakilaim, the animal had a fatal defect. He said definitely was born by a C-section. Shekrivan, Bahuz, you brought this animal outside Patur because you're not real animal. Shnemar, the Fnei Mishkan Hashem, in front of the Mishkan, which teaches you, Kol Shein Roiz Lavan, the Fnei Mishkan Hashem. Any animal that's not able to bring a Korban, and Chalim Avido Nachef for bringing a Korban outside. But I mean, the move. Whether it's permanent or temporary mum. Blemish. You bring it outside, patur patur. Rabbi Shimon says no. Only permanent blemish is patur. But temporary mum is hayav mutase. Torim shelo hegia azbanan. You have turtle doves who not 1 year yet. Bnei yonah shabar or pigeons that they're too old. Outside patur patur. Rishon says no. Bnei yonah shavar zman patur. pigeons that time passed to patur. The turim shiloh higiyaz banan lotase. Turtle doves that they're not old enough, you get a lotase. Or tove benot, so you bring an animal and its child, which mother and a child, which is asur. Chazman or a korban that's not old enough yet. Patur patur. Rishon Omer. How does it also lotase? Should a beach one why would a beach one say yachad lotase in each one? Because kol shado hura oila vla la hazman. Anything that the time is not right yet, meaning the time has not passed yet, but there can be a time in the future, and you brought it. How does it lotase? En bokaret bedon karet. V'hamim rachim seino. Kol she'en bokaret no karet. En lotase no lotase as well. Yahushua says, if you have a korban that's too young, ben begufa, whether the korban is too young because of itself, meaning age, ben belav, or the owner itself, we're not supposed to bring it yet. Is there what kind of cases the owner is not able to bring it? The zeva, the zeva, let the woman give birth, the masara, the sarat guy, shakrivan hatam vashman bahus. They were not supposed to bring it yet, but they brought it. Outside the before they're able to, but doing batur. Oh, the hem v'shalom hen bahut, the order the olan shonim outside the betumtash hayavin their hayav because they would technically count as a good korban, as a nedava, as a volunteer, and therefore, since they did it, they would be chayav because otherwise it would have been a good korban. We'll stop here. We'll come in a minute.